Oh my goodness gracious, let me
Well, hello everybody. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Looks like we got a pretty large audience tonight. I'm looking at about 4,000 on DLive. And, oh, geez, hate when that happens. Another 1,000 or so on YouTube. Probably keep going up from there. So it looks like we got our moderators in place, at least one on each platform, which is great. I wanted to say right off the bat, now that I know both of my moderators are here, or at least a few of my moderators are here, that is try to tick off all the haters. Donations are welcome, and my Venmo is posted somewhere down below, and super chat, all the good stuff. Now that'll get them all riled up, I'm sure, and the trolls will come out. So no, in reality, like I said, like I've always said before, none of my broadcasts, none of my information requires any sort of donation or payment. You guys know that, but I just thought it'd be funny and mention that. So here we are. Let's talk about a couple things first before we get into our main things for tonight. First and foremost, this video is not going to be saved on YouTube. Let me clarify that. It is going to be saved on YouTube, but I'm not going to keep it public. It's public right now, so you guys could see the live feed, but once I'm no longer live, I'm going to set it as private. The video will still exist. I'll still have it on my platform, but I'm not going to leave it as public. Don't ask me why. That's just what I'm going to do. There's a couple reasons behind it, but that's what I'll do for now. I will, just so you know, upload the same video to Rumble. All of my videos are still on Rumble. If you don't have the link for my Rumble account, please go to my Telegram channel. It's listed there. Okay. So DLive, I believe, has the replay for up to 3 days, 72 hours, I think it is. You could go there and you could watch the replay for the next 3 days. I think it takes a little while for it to populate or whatever you want to call it, but it'll be there for 3 days. And then subsequent to that, it'll be on Rumble, not on YouTube. Okay. I'm going to do that as a, probably on a regular basis from here on out. And we'll see how it goes. Not necessarily saying I'm going to be live every night, but probably a little bit more often than I've been over the last several weeks. A lot of people have been asking me how's my personal life, things that are going on in my personal life. I told you guys on Telegram last week that I did pay the retainer from the fundraiser funds that I received. And I showed you guys receipts for that. So kind of in the infancy stages of that so far. It took a long time to get that money out of GiveSendGo, but it was worth it. They didn't charge much and they got a piece of it. And I thought it was pretty cool. So a lot of you have been asking, are we going to do another fundraiser for that? And if it's needed, I don't know. We'll see. That's up to you guys. You guys have donated so much already to help me that it's just, it's astronomical and it's unbelievable in many cases. So I want to thank you guys again for that. I'll keep you posted on how things go with that. And in addition to that, as far as my family life goes, I'm gonna keep some of that stuff private. I hope you all could respect that. I really don't want to get into exactly what's happening, but I could tell you over the last few days, I've been pretty good. I've been feeling pretty good. Some good things happened, in my life, and I'm in a good place right now. So I'll just leave it at that without getting into too much more detail. At least one of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, as far as Starlink internet goes, it's great. It's fantastic. The upload speeds are great. The download speeds are great. And what's even better is I don't have to give money to Comcast, because we all know Comcast is one of those evil, corrupt, big companies that own most of the world, right? So I'm no longer paying them. The cost is actually less. I would look into getting Starlink if you could. It's through SpaceX, so another Elon Musk, company. The satellites that they have in outer space are actually closer to Earth than the other satellites that other mainstream companies have out there right now. So when a satellite is closer to Earth, that means it has lower latency. Latency is the time that it takes for a signal to get from Earth to the satellite in question. So Starlink is great. Last night they had some maintenance. That happens. It was just a weird coincidence that, of course, it's on the same night as one of my lives, but I didn't know. I forgot about the maintenance thing. I just didn't know that it was going to interfere, and it did. So, all right, let's start talking about a little bit of stuff. I got 3 main topics for tonight that I mentioned in Telegram earlier. The first is going to be gold and silver bullion, which is basically an investment strategy that we've been talking about a little bit in the chat. I'm going to show you guys some stuff, some websites to go to, as well as some information that I've kind of really dove deep into over the last several years. And after we talk about that and go over a little bit of things, we're going to go into a conversation about, we're going to continue a conversation that we had in the Telegram chat the other day. That was fun, by the way. Wish we could do that more often, regarding the JFK assassination. And, kind of further what we discussed in the chat the other day. We'll briefly summarize what we talked about, and then we will hop into the new conversation regarding the same topic. So, and then the third thing I want to talk about is something that, struck me as, well, it didn't really strike me because I already knew, but it kind of solidified, a belief and a theory that not only I have, but many people have throughout the world. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And I want you to do a little bit of research on it. See what you think. You may be one of the individuals that fall into a certain category that, I think well, let's just talk about that. And then right after that, we'll do a question and answer session. I know you guys have some questions. First of all, Trump was not in Switzerland. Let's just talk about that for a minute. I know Charlie said that, and I know Charlie has a large following. He was not in Switzerland. I know what Charlie looked at. I know the video. I just got a text message, something about Mitch McConnell. Oh, Michigan, not Mitch McConnell. Michigan is allowing the election lawsuit following a forensic probe of the Dominion voting machines. I didn't hear that. I guess that's new news. But okay, cool. Let's see what happens with that, I guess. But anyway, as far as Charlie Ward goes and the entire Switzerland thing, I saw the video that Charlie saw. And when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, well, this makes sense. Because, we know of all the Swiss banks and, all the money that's over there. So I thought, okay, well, this makes sense because of NESARA, right? So maybe NESARA is connected to why Trump is in Switzerland. So, you do a little digging. But again, I'm always personally skeptical as to any reporting that I hear before I hear it from the Anons. At this point, at this juncture, since November, the Anons have reported everything first. Everything. Out of all of the journalists out there, both citizen journalists, mainstream media, Associated Press, whoever, the Anons have reported it first. So if I see like a big topic like that come up, and I hadn't heard about it yet through my Anon channels, it's weird to me. It's weird that and the way that Charlie Ward said it was so nonchalantly, like, yeah, he's in Switzerland. Mm-hmm. And he didn't elaborate much. He kind of went, his tone went down after that. And I just, I had a bad feeling. So you look into it a little bit more. And the video that Charlie saw was from either last year or 2019. I don't remember which one, when Trump was in Switzerland. But for him to paint that off as fact, I don't understand. I don't understand. So no, as far as I know, Trump was not in Switzerland. I can tell you this regarding NESARA and, to touch on Trump a little bit, to just give an update on that. As we know, there's not a really enormous amount of information to report on Trump. I mean, we talked about the CPAC conference on my last live, but lately, not a whole lot has happened in terms of this stuff that's, readily available on the surface, verified, whatever. Meaning that, no, he didn't come back yet. No, he didn't get inaugurated. We know all that stuff, right? I gave a video sometime last week after March 4th. Everybody was out that, he wasn't inaugurated. And again, what I said in that video, I'll just reiterate real quick. The March 4th date that came and passed without an inauguration was only mentioned in one place and one place only. And that place that it was mentioned was the prior constitution to the United States. The March 4th date was the original inauguration date. That got moved to January 20th as technology advanced, as motor vehicles advanced, as airplanes and other means of transportation advanced and got quicker. So they didn't have to wait as long for people to get there. It used to take 3 days maybe to get from, say, Florida to Washington, D.C., and now it takes 3 hours or less. So that's why it was moved to January 20th. It used to be March 4th. So just people thinking logically, okay, well, if he's not inaugurated now, March 4th, 19th president, blah, 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 and then you draw the lines and you land on March 4th. That was not something that Q said was going to happen. That was not something that really anybody that I've been in contact with said was going to happen. Were we hopeful that that would have been the date? Of course. Like I said before, I wanted the date to be a month ago or 2 months ago, or I didn't really want to see any of this happen, to be honest with you. I thought the court should have taken care of it and, everything would have been fine, but that's not where we're at today. So, regarding where we are at today, getting off the Switzerland thing for a minute and getting off the March 4th thing for a minute, I'm trying to say this without giving away too much from the people that told me. I have several people, several friends, followers, whatever you want to call them, that do, me information regularly now. And more than 3 have come to me and said that they work at big time national banks, and those banks have stopped accepting foreign currency. They will no longer take in any sort of form of foreign currency. And that's been reported from more than a few people to me from more than a few different national banks. The same thing has been reported for numerous different places of financial holdings. Okay. Why is that significant in regards to NESARA? Well, when NESARA comes into effect, NESARA is going to take all of the currency that's held within the banks. So all your money that's in savings accounts right now, all your money that's in checking accounts, all your money that's in, whatever form you have it, your NRA, your 401k, whatever it is, whatever you have on the date that NESARA is released. So let's say it's released tomorrow. Whatever you got in your bank, whatever you got in your 401k, that's all going to be traded for new currency, the new gold-backed and silver-backed currency that we're going to go to. It's currently called the rainbow currency, but it'll be called something else. It won't be called the dollar. It'll be called something else. The dollar is going to go away. All right. Now, sorry. If a bank holds, let's say on any given day, a bank has $5 million in their vault, in all of their accounts throughout the checking accounts, the savings accounts. I'm just making it up. I don't know if that's low or high. I don't know what they hold. But let's say it's $5 million. Let's say 1 million of that is foreign currency from Russia, Canada, but whatever. Pick your country. When the exchange happens for the dollar, all these banks could take all of their dollars, whatever amount of money they have, say 5 million, and give it to the U.S. Treasury. It doesn't have to be physically handed to them, but they could, transfer it or whatever you want to call it, right? The Treasury will replace it dollar for dollar, dollar for gold-backed currency to the exact denominations as the dollar was held. So whatever the new gold-backed currency is worth, they're going to do, their comparison, and you're going to say, okay, well, I had $5 million in currency. Now I have $5 million in gold-backed currency. It's going to be an exchange. But the problem is if you have foreign currency within that establishment, within that financial institution, within that bank, you can't exchange that. So what's happening now is these major banks are stopping. This is the first time this has ever happened, by the way. These major banks are no longer accepting foreign currency into their establishments. That is a sign that NESARA is near. Not imminent, on the precipice, on top of the cliff, Dan Scavino type, stuff, but near. Because the foreign currency that is Giovanna, you have complete authority to get rid of whoever you want to get rid of over there. Don't just delete their comments, just ban them. Just a slight little uptick of uneasiness, just get rid of them. You got my permission to do that. Bleed, you too. Anyhow, you have to weed out the trolls. You have to weed out the foreign currency out of the bank. Okay, and that takes a little time. So it could be days, could be weeks, could be months. I don't know. I don't have a timetable for this. Do I know what's happening? Yeah, absolutely. So that's good stuff. That's how Switzerland came into play, and Charlie tried to I think, tie Switzerland and the banks in Switzerland, get our money out of there. GESARA is going to happen. Everybody has their own currency, blah, blah, blah. He just completely swung and missed again. And it's not the first time I've said that. So I just wanted to get that, clear. All right. I don't have too much more to report on the whole, what's going on with Trump thing. We do know that Dan Scavino said just yesterday about posted the video about, on the precipice of the mountain and all that stuff. So, again, more comms from him as it always is, which is great. It gives us not only the hope that we need, but the reassurance that we need, because there is a difference. Hope and reassurance of a feeling is, two totally different things in my mind. So let's talk about gold and silver. First of all, I want to start this little segment off with saying that I am not by any means a financial advisor, a financial expert. I'm not an expert on gold and silver. I'm not an expert on Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin, any of them. I'm not an expert on any of those things. What I'm going to give you tonight are my feelings, I guess, towards investment strategies and what I like to do. And I'm also going to explain why I like to do that and what my thought process is for those investment strategies. If you do something that I say to do and you lose your money, don't come back to me saying, oh, this jerk told me to buy all this coin and now I have it and now it's worthless. That's the risk you take with investing. I don't know what's going to happen. What do you think? I had a crystal ball? You think I'm a time traveler? I don't know. If I did, I would be sitting here talking to you, right? I'd be somewhere else, probably. Anyway, I think maybe I would still be sitting here. I really don't know. I hate when I drink and I got an ice cube in my mouth, because then if I'm talking, you gotta wait. Yeah. Okay. Gold and silver. As we all know, over the last several years, gold has skyrocketed from under $1,000 an ounce. It's up to $1,700 an ounce now. Forecasts on gold over the next 5 years have it going up to potentially between $15,000 and $20,000 an ounce. You heard that right. An ounce. Not a kilo. An ounce. That is a very small amount of gold. So if the forecasts, the financial forecasts, are correct, if you bought gold even at $1,700 an ounce, and you had 1 ounce of gold, and you spent $1,700, and it goes up to $20,000. Let's say it goes up to $17,000. Let's just do that because it's cool, right? It's a cool number. So let's say it goes from $1,700, goes up 10 times. Its value. Your 1 ounce goes up to $17,000 an ounce. that simply means that you make that much difference in the ounce that you own. I mean, that's very basic, commonsensical type stuff. 1,700 to 17,000, you just gained $15,300, or by this time it'll likely be the new currency. Now the question is, why is it forecasted that gold is going to go up that high? Why is it forecasted that silver is going to go up that high? And when we talk about forecasts, what is an actual forecast? Like, you think forecast, you think weather, right? What we're talking about is predictions from financial experts based on movements in the market that I'm not going to get into explaining. The D value of silver right now is crazy. What's going to start to happen is it's going to correct itself. It's going to shift just like gold did. Silver's going to start going up as well. So a lot of people have been asking me, well, first of all, where do you buy your silver? Second of all, where do you sell your silver? Where do you buy your gold? Where do you sell your gold? What kind of gold should I be buying? What kind of silver should I be buying? Sterling silver, blah, blah, blah. So what I want to do now is first show you the 3 main websites that I've been using to buy all of this stuff. And I also want to show you what to watch out for. Oh, by the way, before I get into that, the answer to my poll question, I don't know, everybody seemed to get it wrong for some reason. So I think, I haven't actually looked at the results since earlier, so just give me a sec. What the hell is this? All right, hold on. So the final results of the poll, the question was, what is the most collectible value in terms of gold, silver, additional value over spot value? So spot value is basically the price that you could pay for it right now and the price that you could sell it for right now. That's what spot value is. Very, very basic. What has the most collectible value on top of that spot value? There were 4 potential answers: Roman gold and silver relic, Egyptian gold and silver relic, Nazi gold and silver relic, or Greek gold and silver relic. You guys, after over 1,000 votes, you guys had 37% for Roman, 31% for Egyptian, 19% for Nazi, and 13% for Greek. The correct answer is Nazi. Nazi gold and Nazi silver is far more valued than any of the other ones. Any other one, period. Not just the other 3 choices that were there. Any of the other ones. Incredibly, incredibly hard to find. First of all, the Nazis stole their gold, okay, from Eastern Europe when they invaded, blah, 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 whole World War I, World War II stuff, right? They stole it all. They then took it and they put their insignia on it. They put the swastika on it and, other things. So the Nazi gold is basically stolen. It still belongs to someone else. The rightful owner could still be out there, okay? So having Nazi gold, even if you just went to Germany or you went to Argentina where they ended up fleeing to, or you went to the site of Hitler's, old house where he lived personally, and you found a pile of it, just in a bag in the ground after digging, whatever. A lot of people have actually done that. You own it. It's yours. Finders keepers. But it was stolen in the first place. So theoretically, it still belongs to someone else. So it gets fishy, and there's a lot of red tape there and all that kind of stuff. But Nazi gold is the answer. Very hard to find. Very, very hard to find. Most of it is in the Central Bank of Europe, in their basement, in their vault. That's where it's been since the end of World War II, since 1945 when they, 46 when they started taking it all out of there. A lot of it actually ended up in Russia too, because Russia was the first one into Berlin at the end of the war. Before the United States could get there, Russia got in there and took whatever they wanted. And by the time the United States and Great Britain got, the Royal Army got into Berlin, most of it was gone. So that's why it's so hard to come by, and that's why it has that value. So let's talk about gold and silver as a whole. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple websites here. Let me get these up. I think that one's up there. Let me see. Yep. Okay. So the first one, and my favorite one, out of the three is this one right here. This one's called JM Bullion. You can see that right there in the top left. And the website is jmbullion.com. Okay. You can see the web address right here. All right. I know that's a little fuzzy and small, but it's there. The one thing I like about JM Bullion, probably more than any of the other websites that I use to buy this stuff, is their interface. Their website interface is, in my opinion, much better than the other two that I'm going to show you. You could track your orders very easily from the order screen. It's just easier to navigate overall. And the one big thing that I really like is what it says right there in the middle under the Buy Now button. 250,000 customer reviews with a 4.8 out of 5 customer rating. That's fantastic. I mean, that's really, really, really good. So I like seeing good customer service. They stand by their product, and they're a good company to use. Let's go on to the second one, and then I'm going to go back to Bullion and JM Bullion and show you some stuff. So the second website that I use to buy my stuff is this one. This one is sdbullion.com. And as with JM Bullion, you can see the ticker up there at the top of the page. That is the current spot prices for gold, silver, platinum. If we go back to JM Bullion for a minute, you can see that ticker up there. Now it has gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and it actually has a couple more. I think copper's on here as well if you dig deeper. But it always has those tickers, and obviously the green that you see right there is what the price did today. So, for example, we could see on SD Bullion. Now, I don't know which one of these is most updated, but I can tell you that according to SD Bullion, gold's up about $11 an ounce today. These are all ounces. Okay, so everything is measured by the ounce when it comes to what the current value is. If you're going to buy by the gram, that's smaller than an ounce. If you're going to buy by the kilo, that's more than an ounce. Go get your measurements. I'm not going to explain that to you. It's very easy to do. Just go to Google. Actually, don't go to Google. Just go to DuckDuckGo. Same thing, just not Google. Anyway, so there's your ticker up top. You can see that SD Bullion is laid out, kind of the same. I don't know why it doesn't have a graphic there in the middle underneath the due to unprecedented demand. Usually has a graphic there like JM does. But a little bit worse of an interface, in my opinion. I don't necessarily like the customer login area of SD Bullion. I don't like the back end of it. It's not my favorite. Is the gold and silver, of the same quality? Yes. Yes, absolutely is. Just personal preference, I guess, when it comes to JM versus SD. I just prefer JM because I think it's a lot easier to use and their technology is just a little bit better than SD. Okay, so those are the first two. And again, you can see the web address up there, sdbullion.com. Okay. The third one that I use, which is probably my second favorite one underneath JM. If I had to rank them, I would say JM Bullion, APMEX, and then SD Bullion. But again, it doesn't matter. This is all going to be your personal preference. They all sell a very similar, they all sell almost the same type of product, which we're going to get into in a minute. But the quality of the product for all three of these websites is completely the same. There's no quality differences here. In fact, if you order something from them, whether it's a coin, a bar, a bullet, a relic, anything at all, and something's wrong with it, or it's not as advertised, or it's not stamped 0.999 fine or anything like that, you just send it back and they'll give it to you right away. The nice thing, or they'll replace it right away. The nice thing about all three of these websites is you could sell your product to them. So right here on APMEX, you can see underneath the cart button there in the top right, you can see sell to us. I'm not going to go through the entire website and show you all these features. I think all of you are smart enough to do that yourself. You could do your exploring and see how easy it is to do these things. But I'm telling you, it's easy. It's very easy, in fact. Now, before I get into showing you some different types of gold and silver to buy and why you should be buying that as opposed to other types, I want to tell you a couple places that I think you should avoid buying silver and gold from, or platinum, or palladium, or whatever you're buying. be careful on eBay. There is a lot of gold and silver on eBay. I'm not saying don't buy from eBay, but what I am saying is be careful who you buy from on eBay. That makes an entire world of difference. If it's a private seller and not a reputable company like SDJM or APMEX are, just be very careful. You don't want to be stuck with something that is being advertised as 0.999 silver or gold for that matter, and it's really gold plated or it's really sterling silver. How are you supposed to know? How are you supposed to know unless you have some sort of authenticity, whether it's a certificate or a guarantee from the company that you bought it from? And if the company is not a company, it's just how do I say, a regular dude, then, all right, this MAGA chick. Sorry, guys. I just have to ban this girl because she's giving Monica a hard time here. And just give me a second. Monica, are you unable to ban people, I'm assuming? You have to fix that. I thought you could. Just 1 second. This will literally only take 30 seconds here, not even. And this girl, because she's giving Monica. Okay, so Monica, when you click the 3 dots next to their name to remove the message, what you want to do is click hide user on this channel. That will actually hide the user all of their comments. So it's kind of like doing the same thing as banning them. They're not banned. They'll still be there, but all their stuff is not going to be seen, which is the whole goal. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to correct that. So I know they bother you more than me. I see your comments saying, stop it, blah, 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 whatever. But I'm trying to just make you guys comfortable so we could actually discuss important things instead of this bullshit. But anyway, here we go. Let's get back to JM Bullion. This is my favorite site. This is the one I'm going to navigate around on. Let me make sure that I'm actually able to navigate on it and it's still recording it live as I do. Let's see if I click up here. 1 sec. Technology's a bitch sometimes. Here we go. Okay, I don't know why that did that. So just 1 minute. There we are. Okay, so if I click up here, is this going to update? Yeah, it's updating on the screen live. Cool. All right, so let me show you a couple cool things about JM Bullion's website and where you should really look. The very first thing that I do when I buy silver, especially nowadays on JM Bullion, is I go up here to on sale and I click it, and it's going to bring up the lowest price items, whether it's gold, silver, platinum, whatever, lowest priced items per ounce. Or per unit, I should say, based on the spot price. Okay, and again, the spot price, you can see that right up there on the top ticker, is what each ounce is currently worth. All right, so I like to look at the on sale stuff. Does it matter if there's a friggin' deer right there on that South African silver regular black coin? No, makes no difference. Does it matter that there's an American Eagle or a Lady Liberty on the front of the coin? Does it matter that it's 2020? Does it matter? No, none of that stuff matters. What matters is one thing, and I'm going to highlight it here on the screen. That's what you want to look for when you're buying. 0.999 fine. Anything other than that is simply, in my opinion, a waste of money. And here's why. You could get, let's go back up to here. Let's go up to silver, and let's go up to silver bullets, for example. What do we got? They're all out of stock, as you can see, right? But let's click this one right here, silver bullet multi-pack. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 bullets in it. You have all different kinds of bullets. Okay. Now, these are 0.999. If you scroll down a little bit to get to the description, you can see right here, each bullet contains 0.999 pure silver content. That's good. That's what we want, right? But let's look at how much content comes in here. Let's click on specifications. This is 18 ounces. Troy ounces is just the measurement that they use, okay? So that's 18 ounces that's in this package of those 4 bullets, all right? So 18 ounces, let's do some quick math here. Oh, my calculator won't come up on this screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the math, and you could follow me if you want. So here's how I'm getting the math. Up here, the spot price for silver right now is $25.90. Okay, that's what you could buy it for and sell it for. However, JM Bullion is going to make a premium on you, right? So you got 18 ounces here. If we multiply 18 ounces times the $25.90 that the spot price is, that comes to $466.20. Yet, you're paying these prices. $628, $635, $655, depending on what type of currency you use to buy. That is a good anywhere from $160 to nearly $200 over spot price, which they have to make something on their, purchases. But if you remember, going back to the on sale screen, the lowest that they had was one of those coins with the weird deer on it, whatever that thing was. One of those coins was $31, I think. So they're making like $6 over spot price on you, just on your payment to them. That in the grand scheme of things is not going to matter. Okay, because when they go to buy it back from you, if the spot price, let's say the spot price is $55. When you go to sell it at $55, if that's what you decide to do, when you go to sell it at $55, they're going to pay you $60 or $65. They're going to pay you over spot. So right now you're paying over spot, but that's going to come back to you at the end. That's going to come back to you when you go to sell, especially when it starts to go up. So the reason why I wanted to talk about these bullets is because according to the spot price, which again, right up here is $25.90, you are paying $160 over spot. And the only reason you're paying that is because these are bullets. Okay? If these were these ancient relics, here you go right here, right? This guy with let's just click it. Here's 2 ounces. Silver round, Egyptian God series. Okay? Just a different stamp. That's all it is. Different stamp than what, you're getting on the other coins. It's 2 ounces, whereas a lot of the coins are 1 ounce. You can see this one has a mummy on the back. And you can see right there, underneath the mummy, it says 999, 2 ounces. Okay, so they're guaranteeing that this is 2 ounces of pure 999 silver. That's good. That's what you want. But if we look at what you're paying over spot, these prices right here, if you buy up to 19 of them, keep in mind, this is 2 ounces. The ticker up top where it says $25.94, that's 1 ounce. Okay, so obviously $25.94, let's round it off to 26 times 2 ounces, that would be $52. All right, so you're paying over spot, but not nearly as much as what you were paying for those bullets. You're simply paying for the fact that it is shaped like a bullet. If this coin right here were melted down and you put all of the melted silver into a bullet mold, you would have the same amount of silver worth the same amount of money. What we're talking about here is collector's value. Okay, let me give you another example right here. Now remember this coin that we're looking at right now, that dude up there looks like an Egyptian, whatever he is, right? Here is the same Egyptian coin, right? Oh, I didn't mean to highlight that one. I can't highlight that one, son of a bitch. The second one right here. Let's click it. Same exact coin, but it's graded. It's graded, and it's graded MS70 antiqued. So it has an antiqued finish, and it has a high grade rating. Same exact 2 ounces of silver, but this time it's $141. You're literally talking about more than twice the amount of money for the same coin because it's graded. So where does that value come in? That value comes in for collector's purposes. For the amount of silver that's there, the value is the same. But because this is graded, it's shinier on his face. There's darker tones in the background. If we go to the back, you can see that the mummy has darker tones. The other one didn't look like that. Even if you look down here on the page a little bit, look at these 2 coins right here. One is darker. One is more silver than the other one. And this, obviously there's price differences there. Same 2 ounces, $6 price difference. My advice to you is don't get too caught up in the damn design on the round or the damn design on the bar. Don't get caught up in that. Not if you're a new investor. If you're a new investor, don't get caught up in that. Just buy the 0.99, get it for the lowest price that you could. If you're fortunate enough to be able to buy gold at $1,700 an ounce, it's a great time to buy gold too, because that is going up, 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 way up. And so is silver. And the reason why silver is a more logical investment is because of the spot price. Okay? Silver right now compared to gold, $26 that we just saw versus $1,700, that is not an accurate ratio. So silver is going to go way up and catch up to gold. I think silver will probably be somewhere around, by the end of this year, $50 to $100 an ounce. I think at the end of 2022, I think you're looking at probably about $500 an ounce. And I think by 2025, this is my honest opinion, and it's not just based on some of the forecasts that I read. It's based on a lot of my research too, and a lot of talking to people. Talking to people that are in the financing industry and in the banking industry, NESARA. Once we go to NESARA, and all the money in our country is gold and silver backed, we have the thing that backs up the currency. Right now, the Federal Reserve backs up our currency. They're going. So NESARA comes in, now gold and silver, physical gold and silver I'm talking about, stuff that you could hold in your hand. I wish I brought some down. I didn't, but you saw the pictures that I put up the other day. And the same thing on the website. Hold it. Don't buy stock. Don't buy any of that stuff. Hold it in your hand. Put it in a nice sleeve. Hold it with a nice glove. Put it in your safe and hang on to it. It's going to go up. Now, you can't buy groceries with gold or silver. You can't buy gasoline for your vehicle. God bless you guys that still have gasoline vehicles. But you can't, that's not what gold and silver is for. So if you're going to be using your United States currency, the dollar, to purchase this gold and silver, you're not going to be able to spend it. You're going to have to go resell it. So what I'm saying is, if you do get into this and you are going to start, because a lot of you are curious and you're asking, a lot of questions about the things that I've been posting about gold and silver. If you're going to get into this, do it as a savings type thing. Don't do it with your entire paycheck, because you're not going to be able to get that money back in the I don't want to say short term, because you are going to get that money back in the short term. But the short term is not days or weeks. It's months and years. Okay, not 25 years, under 5 years before you get insanely rich on the amount of money that you invest into silver. Let's say you invest $1,000 into silver now. 5 years from now, you're going to have probably 20 times that or more. Could be 40 times that, could be 50 times that. So if you put $1,000 in now, 20 times that is 20 grand. You're going to make 20 grand. Well, you make 19 grand. So that's my thing on gold and silver. Make sure you buy bullion. Make sure you use reputable websites. Those are my 3 favorite. Be careful on websites such as eBay. Try to avoid, if you're a new investor, try to avoid collector edition stuff. I have a lot of that collector edition stuff. I'm not going to lie. I overpaid for it too. But that's okay, because I have a lot of it already. I have a lot of it saved. So I don't care spending a little bit for an Egyptian relic that's graded, or for a Nazi coin, or for something with Trump's face on it, or whatever the case may be. But you, if you're new into this and you're looking to make an investment into something, that's how you should form your business. Don't store it online. Some of those websites up there that we just talked about have online storage where they hold your gold and silver for you. No. I even though they're reputable companies, don't do that. Get yourself a safe or put it under a floorboard, or I don't care what you do to it, but keep it in your possession. Okay? That's my gold and silver thing. Let's move on. We're going to do the JFK thing at the end. Right now I want to talk about blood. And no, not my moderator bleed. Different. So I think you guys know by now that I hate that light. Oh. I'm just moving screens around here so I can see everything. I think you guys know by now that I'm very into a lot of this extracurricular thinking, if you will, right? So someone in the chat earlier today said that before the Challenger disaster, they had about 6 weeks before, I believe they said, and I wish I knew who it was here, and I know you're probably listening, but the person that was in the chat said that 6 weeks before the Challenger disaster, they actually had a dream about the spaceship blowing up, about the space shuttle blowing up. And then 6 weeks later, upon launch, it blew up. My first question to that person is, what's your blood type? Now, you say, oh, here goes Phil again. What's your blood type? Here goes this guy. To my non-surprise whatsoever, the blood type that the person that had the premonitional dream, I'm just pulling something up on my phone here real quick so I could reference it. The blood type that the person had was A negative. Let's talk about negative and positive blood types. I don't know if you all know your blood type, but you should know it. And after what I'm about to say, you will know it. The positive or negative after a blood type is called the rhesus factor. R-H-E-S-I-S. Rhesus. The name rhesus comes from the rhesus monkey. There is a monkey. We've all evolved from the rhesus monkey. Every single one of us. We came from this one monkey. Okay? We evolved from the monkey. The blood of that monkey was positive. Okay? They started calling any human blood positive blood. A positive, B positive, O positive, what have you. I think I did spell rhesus wrong. You guys are right. Sorry about that. I've never claimed to be a good spelling expert. I'm actually quite poor at spelling. One of my faults. But yeah, rhesus monkey is still right. So the rhesus monkey, the positive blood type could be traced to the rhesus monkey. A negative blood type, however, cannot be traced to anything in nature. Anything. In fact, it can't be traced so much that scientists have given up trying to explain it. There's no explanation as to why people have negative blood strains. Now, let me factor in a couple things here that are common traits of people that have a negative blood type. Okay, so if you're O negative, if you're A negative, if you're AB, I'm personally AB negative. I believe it's 0.04% of the population has my type of blood, AB negative. It's the rarest blood that there is. Negative blood on a whole is very rare. Okay, but certain types of negative blood are. People are saying, I did not come from a monkey. Yeah, you did. You came from a monkey. I don't know what you want me to tell you. So here are the common traits of people with negative blood. There's a bunch of them. Follow me. They're generally taller than the average person. The average human being right now is 5'9". If you have negative blood, any of you listening to me right now, if anyone here has negative blood, yeah, I know God created us, but God created the monkey too, that we all evolved from. So I'm not downplaying God whatsoever. Don't take it that way. I'm just talking about blood. Okay. If you have negative blood type, chances are you are taller than 5'9". Even if it's an inch, you're taller. Okay. The next few are going to blow your mind. So take a deep breath if you have negative blood right now. Usually people that have negative blood have an extra vertebrae in their back. A lot of people that have an extra vertebrae have what's called scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine. People, because of the extra vertebrae, are taller. That goes with being taller. They're kind of two things that rely upon each other. The third thing that people with negative blood have as a common trait are green or blue eyes. I, for example, have green eyes. I'm also 6'2". Another common trait of people with the negative blood type is brown or blonde or light brown hair. Light brown, not like dark brown, like, my son's brown. Light brown, like mine, for example. You guys all saw my hair before. I'm not going to take my hat off because, yes, I am. Light brown. Wow. That's why I didn't want to take my hat off. Light brown hair or blonde hair. Very common trait. Generally, people with negative blood type have a higher IQ than the rest of the population. The average person IQ is somewhere between 90 and 110. That's average. Anything over 110 is above average. Genius is 160 or whatever it is, right? You probably don't know your IQ, but that's something you should know. You should all know your IQ. It just, first of all, it gives you self-confidence if it's high. Second of all, if you have negative blood type, I bet you're going to be going to take an IQ test, as you should. I totally recommend that you do. Generally, you're smarter if you have negative blood. Doesn't necessarily mean you had to have good grades in school. That's not what IQ means. Usually, you do have good grades in school, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a requirement. I'm specifically talking about IQ, which doesn't always correlate to testing. Okay. The fifth thing, which really got me earlier today in chat, is that people with negative blood do have some sort of premonitional type experiences. It could be having a dream. It could be predicting the winner of the World Series or the Super Bowl or whatever. I know that over many years now, I've always been a big baseball fan. I played baseball. You guys know that. But I'd be watching a game and I would see, one of the players coming up to bat, and I would see how he would grip the bat, right? And he'd be squeezing the bat. And as he squeezed it, I could see his muscles bulging out of his forearm. And I commented to myself, geez, his arms are friggin' enormous, right? And then something said, he's going to hit a home run here. Just because of the way that I saw him gripping the bat in his arm, and then, boom, he hits a home run. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. Have I said that and I was wrong? Yes. But more often than not, whenever I say it out loud to whoever's in the room with me, it happens. Same thing with the person from the Challenger disaster earlier today. All right? Premonitions. Very common trait of negative blood. If you have negative blood, I bet you've had it before. The premonition I'm talking about, and never really gave this much thought to it. You thought it was just, some sort of, what's that word? Thinking of the word? The Matrix? Coincidence? Not coincidence, but deja vu, maybe, some type of thing. It's not. It's actually because of the blood that you have. Another very common trait is, and this is, low blood pressure, but high body temperature. That's reversed. If you have high blood pressure, you usually have high body temperature. That's reversed. So your temperature, your body, and your blood pressure are opposite of what other people without negative blood have. Generally, you associate your ancestry with people from the Europe, somewhere in Europe, but more specifically, Eastern Europe, Middle and Eastern Europe. I personally, my ancestors are from Poland and Czechoslovakia. My one grandmother, my dad's side, straight off the boat, Poland after the war. My grandmother on my mother's side is full. She was Czech and Czechoslovakian and Polish, and my grandfather full-blooded Polish. So all of my ancestry came from there. And again, I may be negative. And another thing, and this has bothered me my entire life, and it continues to. You can see these things on my face right now. Sensitivity to light. I hate unnatural light. I can't stand it. You could see, if you guys have noticed in my lives over the several months that I've been doing this, I have one light on behind me and that's it. It's completely dark in this room. I know you can't see that because of the reflection of the light over my head, but that right there is the only light that I have on. And the only reason that I could tolerate light like that one is because it's reflecting off the wall. That's fine for me. But if I turned all these dome lights on over my head, or if I were upstairs and I'm getting direct light right into my, I just can't do it. The lights in my house are constantly off, constantly. My wife used to hate it, but I can't. And over the years now, about a year ago, I got glasses because I think what's happening is the light, because I'm so sensitive to it, is it's eating away my eyes, my retinas. And I think, I used to have perfect vision. I used to have 20/30 vision in high school, all the way through high school and into college. And then right after that, the last 10 years since I've been out of school, or 15 years since I've been out of school, my eyes go bad. So what am I saying? Why is this relevant? First of all, it's not relevant to our political landscape. So I wasn't going down that path for that reason. I went down the path because you guys were asking about it after the Challenger comment was made in our chat today. So negative blood does not come naturally. Negative blood is not traced to anything on Earth. It's a common, I guess you could call it conspiracy theory, that at some point, some sort of alien race either, number one, altered our DNA to make us able to survive the conditions of our planet, or, and I know, Simon, his mother's an alien, he dates an alien, whatever, that's not what I'm saying. But at some point, could it be possible that an alien race even mated with us? And we have offspring of that now with this blood type. I don't know the answer to that, but what I do know is negative blood cannot be traced to anything in nature on this planet. It cannot be traced to anything in nature. That is a fact. And the people that have negative blood have all of these common tendencies. So this is a discussion. If you guys say, oh boy, this guy's really going off the deep end, that's okay. I understand that. You don't have to believe it. But it's all of the things that I just mentioned are true. In fact, a lot of you here, I could see you commenting over here. You do have a lot of the traits that I just mentioned. You might not even know if you have an extra vertebrae. It's not something they count. I know it because they thought I had scoliosis, because my spine right here, my fourth vertebrae down from the base of my skull, my spine goes straight down, and then I have one vertebrae that goes out, and then it goes back to straight again. It doesn't curve like a common scoliosis does. My back, it's straight, pink, one vertebrae, back down again. They have no idea how it happened to me. It's never caused me discomfort. It's never caused me pain. It's never affected me in any way. But that is the extra vertebrae. It shouldn't be there. Something to think about, right? watch those premonitions, because if you do have negative blood and you feel like something is going to happen before it happens, especially if that something is potentially negative. For example, you want to go, shopping, and you just have a really bad feeling. You're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go tonight. Maybe it's, maybe that weather is too bad. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. Don't go. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, and you're not having a premonition. But what's the gain? Getting groceries earlier or going to see a movie, earlier than a couple days later or whatever. I'm not saying you're psychic. Don't get me wrong. But what I am saying is something about our genetic makeup is different, and these tendencies are associated with this type of blood. Research the blood a little bit. I think you're going to find out even more than what I just said. And I also think you're going to realize that the mainstream media, of course, is suppressing it, as they always do, right? All right, let's go on to JFK, then I'll take a couple questions, and then we'll call it a night. I want to discuss what we discussed in the chat the other day, okay? And I'm going to bring the same photo that I posted in the chat, just in case anybody missed this. I'm going to post the same photo that was in the chat, and we're going to discuss what I actually was discussing in the chat the other day, just briefly, just going to touch on it. So let me just send this to myself real quick. The reason why I went over the blood thing today is obviously has absolutely nothing to do with politics or any of the narratives that we've been talking about. But I like talking to you guys. It's fun. I think it's fun talking to you, and I consider you guys friends at this point. I don't know if you consider me a friend or not, and if you don't, I'm not. It's okay, but it's fun to talk about this stuff with you guys in the chat. I feel like a lot of times I'm giving you information that maybe you didn't have before. Maybe you weren't aware of a lot of things that I was telling you, and it opens your mind up. It makes you a little bit smarter too. And the next thing that we're going to go over here with JFK is another one of those type things. I don't even know why I'm trying to text it to myself. I should just airdrop it, right? Isn't that easier? Don't get nervous. Give me 30 seconds. And there it is. All right, let's get an image up on the screen. All right. So this is the image that we were discussing in the chat the other day. And my question, the reason why I asked the question is to try to get you guys to think deeper. And this does relate to what we're going through right now in the current political environment that we're in. When you see something, you have to analyze it more than what you currently are. Now, I'm not talking to all of you, but I am talking to some of you. And if that sounds like you, I probably am talking to you. This photo was posted. It was a pause of the Zapruder film. It's the most famous film that was taken of the Kennedy assassination. And my question was, what's wrong with this photo? What do you see? And the answer, before we even get into another Q&A, because we're going to do that in a minute. The answer is that the people that are standing in the photo have double images. Okay, and the reason that they have double images is because technology back then, from a video standpoint, was not excellent. And the motion that was occurring with this video being taken by Zapruder was capturing double images. Okay, so you could see the three people that are in there, the man on the immediate, well, this is my right, but the man over here in the bottom, the one in the middle, and then the one next to him. All three of those people have their body right next to them. The problem with this photo is not the fact that there's a superimposed image next to the person. That's normal for the technology. The problem with this photo, and the way that you could tell that it is fake and altered, not fake, but altered, is their shadows do not have the same superimposed image next to them. Their shadows have no superimposed image. Their shadows are just a shadow. That is impossible. There's no way that that could be possible. Can't be done. This video rather, has been edited. Now, why? Why was the video edited? No, it's not because JFK did not get shot. He did get shot. Okay, and we're going to talk more about JFK in a minute, and we're going to talk more about JFK in the future. But JFK did get shot. He got shot in the head. You saw the blood. You know, there's theories as to where the bullet came from. We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that again in the future, but not today. What I want to talk about today is something that I don't know if a lot of you guys have noticed. I know you've seen the videos, but I don't know if you noticed. Okay? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put a video on the screen. I think I am anyway. Here we go. All right, specifically here, what I want you to look at is the motion of the vehicle as it is relevant to the background. Okay, so what do I mean by background? By background, I mean the grass on the top of the video, as well as the people on the top of the video. The background is how you will know that the car is moving. Because if you just saw the car, you wouldn't know if it was going forward, backward, if it was dead still. The background tells you that there is motion occurring, okay, with the vehicle. So let's play this video. Oh, that was the end. Sorry about that. Let's go back to the beginning. Here we go. Now, this is the Zapruder film. Here comes Mr. Kennedy. He, right about now, is taking a shot to the throat. Right about now, Connolly gets shot. And as you can see, everything in the background is moving fluidly. The car is still going. The people are still moving. There's a tree in the way. Let's go back and watch that again. And again, pay attention to what I'm talking about. Forget about the fact that Kennedy's holding his throat. Forget about the fact that Senator Connolly is looking, back and gets shot. Forget about that. All I want you to notice is the grass, the people on the grass, and their motion in the film. Because Zapruder, the guy that's recording this, his name was Zapruder. I can't remember his first name. Might have been Hank. I don't know. Doesn't matter. He was standing still. Okay, we know exactly where he was standing. We know exactly how he was standing, how high the camera was, all that stuff to the T. He was standing still. So everything in this video that you see, the motion that you see, is caused by the actual things that are moving, such as the car and the people and Jackie Kennedy and all that stuff. So let's watch it again and watch the background in relation to the car. One more time. you're not supposed to find anything that's out of the ordinary there. So if you're trying to do that right now, stop. All I want you to notice, and we played it 3 times, is that the background consistently moves and the car is consistently moving. That's it. That's all I wanted you to notice. Okay? Let's look at another video. This one was shot by Orville Nix. That was the guy's name. Okay? And this video is from the opposite angle. This is the opposite angle of the one that we just watched. Mr. Zapruder is, my cursor isn't going to work on the screen, but if you see up top there where it says Ant Davidson, NZ, Mr. Zapruder is right up there. In this shot, he would be off a little bit to the left. So he's in the exact opposite location as Orville Nix. Let's watch this. Car speeds off after Mrs. Kennedy climbs out the back. Okay. Let's pause it. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's watch it again from the very beginning. Again. Again. One more time. What did you see? Let's go. Who's going to get it, DLive or YouTube? There's more of you on DLive, so what did you see? Nothing to do with the shots. Nothing to do with tape splicing. Why do you say the car slowed down? How could you possibly know that? Why? Why are you saying that the car slowed down? Don't talk to me about brake lights. What about the motorcycles? More specific. Let's watch it again. That wasn't my angry voice. That was just me getting fired up. I don't have an angry voice. Yes, I do. But that wasn't it. Shit, hold on. We're going to watch it 3 more times. Here it comes. Again. Again. What do you see? Motorcycles caught up. Karen Lopnow on YouTube. If somebody else said it above, I might have missed it when I went back to those last couple replays there. But congratulations. That looks like it's a YouTube victory. Somebody said it above Karen. I missed it. My mods might have to help me out. So what you saw there was the motorcycles that were driving behind the car catch up to the car. That is not something that is possible unless Kennedy's limo slowed down. Why would Kennedy's limo slow down? Kennedy's limo slowed down as he was holding the little hole right here. His arms are up like this. Connolly is, at that point, when the limo slowed down, slouched over to the right because he just got shot actually 3 times, once in the leg, once in the wrist. and once in his ribs, destroyed his ribs, destroyed them off the whole side, blew up. So why does that car come to a stop? That's not even the question. The question isn't why does it come to a stop? That question's for another day. Here's the question that I have, and this is going to teach you guys a lot. Let's go back a second. Y'all ready? Where did the car stop there? Because we very clearly know that the car stopped. We know that because the motorcycles caught up to it, as did every other vehicle that was behind it. We know that the car slowed down or came to a complete stop because the Secret Service agent that was behind the car jumped on the car. He wouldn't have been able to do that if it didn't come to a stop. But why, in the Zapruder film, did it show continuous motion? I think I could tell you why it showed continuous motion, because the Zapruder film was edited. For two reasons. Number one, that's not possible. It's not possible. Whoever did this didn't edit together the sequences properly. And that's why you see what you see. And number two, we have the Orville Nix video showing very clearly that everyone is moving at the same pace. They're going with the same pace as the Kennedy limo. The whole procession is, and then the Kennedy limo stops and everybody catches up to it. That is the point of intrigue. Because if one video shows a stop and the opposite side of the street shows continuous motion, someone is lying. Now, we all know that Kennedy, the whole single bullet theory and all that, we all know that that's bullshit. We've known that for years. Everyone has, right? How I want everyone to take what I'm saying tonight is these are the things that you have to look for now, today. We saw this Tom Cruise deepfake that's going around, right? There's many more. Many more. We saw the Anthony Fauci thing going on under here over his collar with his throat. Looked a little suspicious. People are saying, oh, that's not Biden. You need to train your mind to look closer at this stuff. Closer. You need to expand your mind. It took a long time the other day in chat for everyone to see what was wrong with this photo. A long time. A lot of bad guesses. Everyone's looking down at the car. I barely even have the car in the shot of the pause that I did on my television. It's barely even in the shot. That's the bottom of my television right there. You can barely see Jackie's head. And yet people are asking or giving comments about the car. Stop looking at the main items in a film or in a photo. Start looking at the things that you're not supposed to look at and see if they actually make sense. That's how we have to think nowadays. Because if you're just going to turn on the news and you're just going to, believe what they say, and we've all learned not to do that by now, right? But I don't even know if we could believe what they show us anymore. This was 1963. And they still edited a video and they put it out. The Zapruder film got put out, and it's what everybody saw. The main video that was given to the media was the Zapruder film, the one with the continuous motion. It did not show that car slowing down at all. It still showed the motorcycles catching up, right? But you wouldn't even notice that because everybody in the background keeps moving. And the reason they kept moving is because it was edited that way. That's what they wanted you to see. They did not want you to question why that car slowed down. And the answer to the question, why the car slowed down, unravels the entire mystery surrounding the assassination. But that's for another night. That's my show. How did I do? I know I lost a lot of you guys when we started talking about monkeys and blood, but but we did that, and my whole thing here. I told you guys this many times already. My whole thing here is I want to try to get you guys thinking as critically as possible, because if you don't, you will fall into the trap that they want you to fall into. So no matter what happens with Trump, no matter what doesn't happen with Trump, no matter what happens with Biden or doesn't happen, no matter what happens with NESARA or doesn't happen, no matter how long it takes for any of those things to happen or not happen, you still got to think critically. And when I say think critically, I mean stop thinking how you used to think. Don't place things that aren't there. Don't start pointing at things that don't really exist. Did Kennedy really die? I hear some think he survived. Well, I think we'll leave that for another night. We'll leave that for another night because it's a long one. But that's a great question. So now I'm going to take some questions. Not a ton of them because this live is long. Been on here almost 2 hours already, hour and a half. So we'll do about 10, 15 minutes worth of questions. Then we'll go from there. Who super chatted me? Thank you to Jim Russo, Dan Shapiro, no questions. Blue Garin, regular watcher. Super chatted $5.17, of course. Will our debt be cleared after the new system? She's talking about NESARA. I think it's a she. I don't know if it's a she. It might be a he. I don't know if Blue Garin, a gender neutral. But if your name is Blue Garin, I don't know what box to check there. So I'm not offending you in any way. I'm just curious. But they are a regular watcher. I got to watch my pronouns here. Will our debt be canceled after the new system, meaning NESARA? So if I borrow money to buy silver, will I be free and clear of that debt? Yes. Yes. If you borrow money from your sister or from your employer or from your cousin or from your neighbor, no. But if you borrow money from the Federal Reserve, which is essentially any bank in the United States, that's federally insured. Federally insured means that every dollar that is in circulation in the United States is backed up by the Federal Reserve. So for every dollar, there has to be another one in the Federal Reserve. So all of the money in the entire country has to be matched by the Fed. Because if all of your money is in a bank and the bank blows up or lights on fire or direct energy weapon hits it and it goes, poof, it's gone. You had your money in that bank, right? And your money was insured by the Federal Reserve. So that means your money has to be replaced. So imagine that happened throughout the entire country. All the banks just disappeared and all the money is gone. The Federal Reserve has to replace it all. Your money is still there. As long as it was in the Federal Reserve, I don't know what just happened there. As long as it was in the Federal Reserve, it's insured. So when the NESARA comes, the Federal Reserve is gone. Minute. Scafisque. That's not even a word. But it's gone. So now the backup to all of that money is going to be gold and silver. So for every $1, it's not going to be called a dollar. Let's call it a pheasant. I don't know. I was off with it. So the one pheasant, the new currency, the new rainbow currency, I'm calling it a pheasant. It's a state bird of Pennsylvania, by the way. But anyway, that one pheasant now is backed up by one pheasant worth of gold. Okay, so an ounce of gold, currently $1,700, $1,700. That pheasant is now worth that much in gold. Just like the Fed backs up our dollars with another dollar, we're now backing up our currency with gold and silver. And the reason that the Vatican and all the gold that we talked about and all that stuff, the reason that we have all that gold now is because we need it to back up our currency. So people were asking about platinum and palladium and all that stuff. Yeah, that stuff is probably going to be used to back up other currencies worldwide. I don't know what Russia's going to use. Big country. I don't know what China's going to use. Another big country. Maybe they have their old gold. Maybe there's enough. Maybe they have their own supply, whatever. But yes, so if you borrow, get back to your question. I know I got off there, but it was relevant. Blue Garen, gender neutral. There's Blue Garen right now on my phone. Look at that. Oh, Blue Garen is a man. That's my fault. I did not know that. Now I know. Blue Garen is a man. So yes, to answer your question, if you borrow money from the Federal Reserve, meaning from a bank, you take a personal loan, whatever, and then NESARA kicks in the next day, you don't owe that money to the bank anymore. If you borrow it from a friend to buy that same silver, you still owe your friend. I mean, you don't have to pay them, but then they'll sue you and whatever, right? But yes. Good question, though. Good question. Let's get a DLive question over here. How about copper and lead? I don't advise I don't advise investing in copper or lead right now. Silver and gold are going to be the currency that. Oh yeah, the pheasant is not the state bird, is it? And I live in Pennsylvania. These guys with these IQs from the alien blood, DNA rather. It is a grouse. That's my bad. I don't know why I thought pheasant. I think my dad used to hunt pheasant, so I had pheasant on the mind. That's what it was. I don't have any other. I'm really trying to shit. Okay, pheasant, grouse, whatever. Shouldn't have said pheasant. Here we go. Oh, another DLive question. Let me get another one. 401k, should I adjust? I don't know what that means, but I think what you mean is my 401k going to be safe? Well, yes. Let's say your 401k right now has a balance of, I don't know, $300,000. Okay? If NESARA rolls out tomorrow and your balance is $300,000, you're good. Your $300,000 will be replaced with 300,000 pheasants or grouse if you really want to pick. But if the market crashes and your 401k is tied to the stock market, then no, your 401k is not going to be okay. So I know you may think it's a crazy strategy to take the money out of your 401k, to take the dollars out of your 401k and buy silver or gold. If you think that's crazy, don't do it. But me, I'm not going to mess around with the stock market knowing the volatility that is currently within this country and the world, for that matter. I mean, just like that. Do you know that we right now, as a country, in terms of financially speaking for comparison purposes, we are in the same position we were in about 2007 when the market... And then we had a foreclosure crisis and all those security bonds exchanges and all that crap that we talked about. I don't know if we ever had a live on that. Maybe we should someday. But we're in the same position. It's going to happen again. And if the market does crash and the $300,000 that you had in your 401k goes down to $50,000 and then NESARA comes in, you'll still get your $50,000, but you just lost $250,000. So silver, bullion, gave you the websites. That was DLive. Let's get back to YouTube. Navy Doc Charlie super chatted $10. I know you're not a Bitcoin fan, but just curious, if it's that bad, why would Trump tweet to buy Bitcoin on a couple of occasions a year or so ago? I think a lot of the deep state were investing in Bitcoin, and I think he wanted them to lose their money. That's just, I have no proof of that. I have no evidence of that. It just makes sense, fits the narrative. He recently said to not invest in Bitcoin. Said it's a fake currency. I think he called it, it's like air. It's like, well, could you go get the air from over there and bring it over here? Could you do that? Could you do that? Could you bring me more air? I want to take the air over there and put it over here. Can you help me? It's, you know what I mean? So I know he did tout it at one point, and I don't know if it's in the way that you're saying that he did. I don't think he ever actually said to, you know, buy it. Maybe he did. And if he did, I think it was because of what I said. I think it was a throw off. He doesn't own any. He's got billions of dollars. He doesn't own Bitcoin. Elon Musk bought 1.5 billion of it and then said that it's not great and it's going to implode. And I personally believe it will implode. I know they hit a new record today, whatever. It's going to go back down again. It's going to go back up. But when the proverbial shit hits the fan, I want silver. I want something that I could hold. Right now, if I go upstairs, I can move my silver and my gold to my hand, and I could show it to you. You gonna show me your Bitcoin? You can show it to me? What are you gonna show me? You gonna show me a statement that says, I have this much Bitcoin in this place. Oh yeah? What if they tell you you don't have that anymore in that place? What are you gonna do? You say, yes, I do. Well, wait, I did. What do you mean I don't? What's that gonna get you? Is that gonna put more money in your bank? Or is that just gonna get you absolutely nowhere at all? Whereas I'm gonna hold a kilo of gold and I'm going to say, look, I have this gold. And no one's going to tell me that I don't have it because I'm touching it with my hand and it's in my hand. And I know it's there and you know it's there. And I know what the element is that makes up the matter that's in this thing in my hand. If you could do that with Bitcoin, then go ahead. Do it. And if you don't think that that matters, buy Bitcoin. I know why Musk bought it. Because everybody's accepting it and the prices are cheaper to use it. So he's saving a lot of money on the things that he's buying. Go look at the Bitcoin price on JM Bullion. That they accept Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. You get the cheapest price by using Bitcoin. Because those people think that Bitcoin is going to go up. So they're giving you a cheaper, but they want your Bitcoin. You save money by using Bitcoin. They get the Bitcoin. It goes up. They make money. They're not only making money on your purchase, but they're also making money on the Bitcoin that you used. So they're double edging you. You don't have anything to do with the second part of the edge, but the first one you do because you're using the Bitcoin, right? I don't buy into that shit. I know enough about Bitcoin because I researched the crap out of it. Same goes for XRP. Same goes for Litecoin and all the other ones. Whatever. There's millions of them now, I think. I know that you have to mine it. I know the whole process with electricity. I get all that. But if I can't hold it in my hand, I don't know. I don't want it. Not in this environment. Not in this environment. I don't care what the gains are. I don't care what's happened to it, over months. What I do care about is NESARA is going to kick in. And when it does, the currency in the United States is going to be backed by gold and silver, which is what I'm going to be able to hold in my hand like this. So do what you want, One Love super chatted $19.99. Thank you. Top donation of the night so far. Great to see you live again. What really happened with the Federal Reserve crashing? Well, they're testing things. The Federal Reserve crashed more than once over the last several weeks. That has never happened before, by the way, in the history of... now, there's been times where you couldn't initiate wires because of complications, but we're talking the entire Federal Reserve system went down for an extended period of time, multiple times in the last couple of weeks for the first time in the history of the Federal Reserve. It all ties to NESARA. This stimulus package that everybody's up in arms about because 1.9 trillion. Where do you think they got the 1.9 trillion dollars? You think that they just printed it? You think that it just, it was in the White House closet? Open up, take it out, give it to the people? No. It came from the Federal Reserve. I don't care if they printed it. I don't care if the Rothschilds took it out of their pockets. Doesn't matter to me. But it came from the Federal Reserve. So all of these stimulus packages for COVID are really to bankrupt the Federal Reserve. It all ties together. It's all the same. It's all for the same purpose. So do I really care that the Federal Reserve money is being sent to human gender studies in Egypt on, yeah, I don't even know, whatever. Do I care about that? No, I don't really care about that because, first of all, I think that that's where they say the money is going to, right? Now, I know in years past, before all this stuff started happening with, deep state and Trump and Biden and Pelosi in Congress or whatever, in years past, in past administrations, when they passed a bill or a stimulus or whatever like this, it did really go to those places that they're saying. Currently, I don't think it's going there. I don't think it's going there at all. I think that money that they're taking out of the Federal Reserve is going somewhere else, and it's meant for America. It's meant for us. So people got extended unemployment benefits. I heard that the $300 a week was supposed to go to $400, but now it's not. So it's still $300 a week plus your regular benefits. That alone was a lot of billions of dollars just to do that for unemployed people under the disguise of COVID, right? But all of that other stuff going to foreign entities, I just don't believe that it's really happening. I just don't. How's the Federal Reserve going to verify that it's actually going to Egypt for gender studies? The Rothschilds are under control. The Vatican capitulated. The Central Bank of Europe, everybody is in Trump's corner. We did that on a live several weeks ago, if not months ago now. That is done. So we are just taking the rest of the money that's there and dispersing it. Listen, if you think that sounds bad and it makes us bad as a country or Trump bad as a person or, the global capitulators that are falling into line, if that makes us all bad because we're taking money out the Rothschilds took $500 trillion and much more than that away from you and me and my family and all the generations before me and your family and all the generations before you. They took that money from us. That's why they have it. Now we're just getting it back, right? And that's why your mortgages will be paid off, and that's why your cars will be paid off. Somebody just asked, what about car loans? Yeah, they'll be paid off. Your personal loans will be paid off. Your student loans will be paid off. Your car leases will be paid off. All of that comes from the Rothschilds' money in the Federal Reserve. And yes, it will all be paid off. And that isn't going to help, your great-great-great-grandfather who passed away many decades ago. But it is going to help his offspring, you and his, bloodline. And what's going to happen is, as soon as NESARA kicks in and all of our, debt is squashed and so forth, all of our revolving debt and everything else, people are just going to run their debt back up again. But this time, the debt that they'll be running up is going to the Treasury, the United States Treasury. The United States Treasury is not Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is the Rothschilds. Treasury is government. Okay? We will be, the Treasury now will be dispersing the money and backing up the currency with gold and silver and distributing the loans. And the interest rates will be much lower. Everybody's going to skyrocket their debt back up, of course. But the United States is now going to have the money to lend. We're taking all of this. That's probably where the stimulus packages are going, to the United States Treasury. So we're taking the money that we're saying is going to Egypt, right? But it's really going to the Treasury. And we're going to have all of this money on hand from the Rothschilds to lend out. Because everybody's stuff is going to be paid off, and then you're going to go get, what are you going to get? You're going to get equity loans, right? So you own what, a $200,000 house, $500,000 house? What do you have on that? Say a $100,000 mortgage, a $300,000 mortgage? Well, tomorrow, when NESARA kicks in, it's not tomorrow, by the way, or maybe it is, I don't know, but I don't know when it is. But when that actually does kick in, you're not going to owe that mortgage anymore, right? So what you could do is go get an equity loan and borrow against your property. There's probably going to be a time limit on how long you could actually do that once your mortgage gets paid. If you had a mortgage, once your mortgage gets paid off via NESARA, there's a waiting period. Most likely, if I were writing the law, that's what I would do. There's going to be a waiting period of how long you have to wait, let's say 6 months or 18 months, I don't know, before you actually get some sort of equity loan, and then you're allowed to again. I don't know, something like that. But nonetheless, yeah, you could go get your equity out. Sure, it's your equity. You earned it. We've been robbed for so many years. Over a century. And we'll be getting it back. All right, back to questions. Sorry about that. D-Live. I don't know anything about Looking Glass. I don't know I need more context than that. Another D-Live. Teresa Reynolds, I heard after NESARA kicks in, every person over 21 would get about $100,000, but it would be gradually given to us. I didn't hear that at all. It's not something that is written into NESARA law. Perhaps the average person would save $100,000 based on the debt that they carry. That would make more sense in line with what you're saying. But actually being given $100,000, that's not, as far as I understand it, that's not in NESARA law. Back to YouTube. The Polygraph News super chat at $10. Keep up the good work. The elite politicians hate truth. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. Another super chat from Towdy McLemming. Super chatted 5 Canadian, whatever they are up there. What is Canadian money called? I don't even know. Doesn't matter. Interested about JFK in the car. Well, we will do another live on JFK. Maybe I'll do my next live on JFK and why that car actually stopped. I think it's a good thing to do. Probably goes right by the, falls in line with the same thought process. You guys got to remember, this whole Q stuff started with JFK, right? This is the guy that was about to do what's happening now. He was about to do it, and he got shot. That's how they stopped him. So back then, people were so, gullible and just naive to what actually happens in the world. Back then, they would see a Zapruder film and they'd be like, whoa, a video. You know what I mean? Like, that's how cool video was back then. No one was thinking that video was edited. Like nowadays, we could edit a video right from sitting right here, right? In 60 seconds? We could edit a video? We log into Photoshop and Creative Cloud or whatever the frig. And we could edit things quickly and easily. Back in the 60s, no one knew. So they just got away with whatever they wanted. They had advanced technology and they got away with it for all these years. Now we look back and we're like, okay, well, now we see what you did. And now it's all coming back. So it's all relative to the conversation. Not specifically, obviously, to, what Trump's doing, but he's the finisher. Anthony DeGriarde, I think, super chatted the top donator of tonight, $25. Is the IRS going bye-bye? Thanks for all you do. Yes, the IRS will be abolished. There will be no more need for the IRS because there will be no more income tax on your earnings. Income tax is a sham. Income tax goes to the Federal Reserve, collected by the IRS, goes to the Federal Reserve. You're not going to have income tax taken out of your checks anymore. That's going to be gone. Your big tax bill that you get at the end of the year, they take what? 10%, 30%, almost 50% of your income. We are slaves. Between the mandated health insurance that Obama made you pay for and the income tax off of your income, a lot of people in the United States, half of the money they made was going to either healthcare, which in some way, shape, or form went into Obama's pocket, or went to the Federal Reserve. And then they lend our own money back to us with interest. What's going on? And finally, somebody's waking up and saying, wait, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why did we do this for so long? Why are we just giving everything away? And then after we go, okay, so here's the thing. I'm now the Fed. You're going to make $500 this week at your job. Okay. You're going to give me 100 of it because I'm the Fed, bitch. You're going to give me that $100. And then the next person, you're going to give me $200 because you made more. Next person over there, you made 5,000 this week? I want 1,000 of that. Give that to me. So now I got all this money, right? And I'm collecting it from every American citizen that's employed. I'm taking all this money out of their paychecks every week. Right? These same people now want a loan. Not all of them, but percentage of them, 20% of them, they want a loan for a house. They want to get a mortgage. Well, your credit better be okay. Because if it's not okay, we're not going to give you the money. We want to make sure we're paid back with interest on that money. It's your money. You gave it to them to begin with. They're lending it back to you with interest, and they're saying, well, you have to be qualified in order for us to give you that money. What's going on? How is this sane? What is wrong with the system? And finally, somebody came along and said, this is bullshit. Actually, somebody came along in 63 and said the same thing. And they tried to kill him. And why hasn't this happened before? Well, look at who we elected, right? So they own the media. So the media just goes along with their narrative. You know, the media makes, you know, certain politicians look good, certain politicians look bad. We know that now, right? So we are woke, man. But back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, we didn't know. So we just follow what the media says. Oh yeah, that's a good candidate. Obama, first black president? You're kidding. Look at all the people at his rallies. CGI. He didn't get that many votes. You kidding me? So, but it's all changing now. We're going to be okay. Everyone's going to be okay. Back to some questions. All right, over to DLive. Schumer. Bonavinci, I think. If I'm saying that right. Schumer and Obama are married to dudes. Yeah, I get, yeah. Schumer, definitely. And then he got Big Mike. So, I mean, there's a lot of convincing facts. Not facts, but a lot of convincing, it's not evidence, reasons why you would believe that Big Mike is a male. All you got to do is look at Schumer's wife to know that that's not just whatever. Let's get on. Two more questions. One from DLive, one from YouTube. Who wants it the most? SBA loans are part of the Fed. So yeah, they're federally insured. They'll be wiped as well. How about money in your safe? It's your money, man. It's your money. So if it's dollars, the dollars will be exchanged for the new currency. If it's gold or silver, you could sell your gold or silver whenever you want. In fact, the Treasury will probably buy that off you because it backs up the new currency, or you could sell it to other people too. Not two, but or. So yeah, I hold yourself. Why put yourself in banks? I don't know. For what? There's no interest. 9/11. Yeah, we got to finish that up, but that's it's a sore. I'm going to avoid 9/11 just for now. Just for now. Let's give it some time, and then I'll get back to it. But we got some more important stuff going on right now than 9/11. 9/11 is a. Not saying it's not important. We went over the Pentagon, and we're going to go over the towers. We're also going to go over. Excuse me. We're also going to go over the Flight 93. 3 parts, like I said, but just not yet. One more YouTube question, then I'm going to bed. Kamala would never be president. No. It doesn't matter. Biden could resign tomorrow. She could be president. She's not going to. There is no administration right now. You guys know that, right? I mean, come on. This is not a. This is a fake. Everything is fake. Why do you think we're going over JFK and the motion in the video and all that? You think I'm just doing that just because I just wanted to do that? I just picked it randomly out of thin air. I'm going over it because I want you guys to start noticing what you're actually seeing on the television when you see Mr. Biden, or when you see Mrs. Kamala, or when you see Schumer, or any of this. Watch what you're looking at the White House when you see the White House. Watch what you're looking at with these. You know, did anybody see the Golden Globes the other night? Holy moly! That was a whole bunch of crap. None of them were actually there. Where is all the big celebrities? First of all, no one was there. And then you got all this crap CGI. It was such bad CGI. Holy moly. So, start noticing things. Don't start noticing things that aren't there. But when you do notice something that you think looks a little bit odd, and learn how to notice them too. Learn how to look at a photo like this one and say, wait a minute, what's wrong here? Because this photo that I screenshotted, that wasn't the screen, that wasn't the, I forwarded the video to that point. And it just so happened that it's at the top of the screen, right? But in the grass rather. But the main point of this video was Jackie climbing out of the car. That's the instance that she's about to climb out of the car. So look at things. That's why we went over JFK today, if you haven't noticed that yet. Not because we're bringing up JFK to debunk the conspiracy theory. We could do that another night, or not to debunk, but to prove or debunk, whatever you want to call it. Start noticing things more that you're seeing on the news and on these videos and on this. It's just all bogus. You are living in a false reality. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the wonderful donations. Thank you for all of the attendance. We had a good crowd here tonight. Let's go see what's on DLive right now. Everything dropped because it's getting late. But yeah, I think we had like 6,000 to 7,000 people watching tonight, which is really cool for both platforms. I'm going to repeat this one more time. I'm not going to be leaving this video on YouTube. I'm going to take it from YouTube, download it, and put it on Rumble tomorrow. On DLive, it will be under the Replays tab for 72 hours. Probably not immediately, but in a little while. It takes them a while to move it over. And then after the 72 hours, it'll be off DLive, and the only place you'll be able to see this again is Rumble. But it will be on Rumble. If you don't have my Rumble link, I will put it in Telegram for you tonight. Everybody have a good night. I'll probably be going live, what's today? I don't know. It's whatever day to me because I don't have a job and I don't have anyone at my house. And it's every day is whatever day. It's whatever time. It doesn't matter. You know, I sleep when I want to and I do what I want to, but there's nothing that I have to do. It's bizarre. So I'll probably do live, not tomorrow, but maybe Tuesday or Wednesday again. Yeah, you guys have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.